Welcome back, everyone, to Southern Mamas Be Like. I'm Eva Marie Everson, and if you'll notice, I've got myself listed as a Southern rap star. No, I'm talking about WRAP. I should have written it WRAP because, wrapping gifts and things like that. But the real Southern star is my good friend, Jane Jenkins Turlong. Here she comes.
Well, I didn't know you were a rap star. I
yes.
Sing, really? Like Christmas and...
that was my first job, Jane. I worked at the Allied department store. Allied, yes. And I was a rapper during the Christmas season. And yes, that's and I did that several years, actually. I almost forgot about it. And then I got my very first Social Security, like, this is everything that you deserve that you're going to get. And it broke it down year by year, how much money. And I'm like, what was I doing at that age? And then I remembered I was a rap star at Allied department store.
Very nice.
Christmas season.
Did not know. We have a special guest.
She's a rap star.
She is?
Yeah. She can wrap it up, honey.
Honey, all right. Well, let's bring her in. Lenora, we're happy to have you, girl. There you are.
There she is. She's the rap star. She wraps up a lot of good fiction. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our friend Lenora Worth. She is a member of the American Christian Fiction Writers Honor Roll.
Oh.
So when they say Lenora Worth, she says, here. She writes romance and romantic suspense for Love Inspired and sweet romance for Tool Publishing. She also writes for Kensington Books Inspirational Line. Whew, my goodness. Diversification is her middle name. 3 of her books were finaled in the ACFW Carol Awards. She also received the Romantic Times Pioneer Award for inspirational fiction. Lenora is a New York Times, USA Today, Publishers Weekly, and ECPA best-selling writer and a 2019 RWA RITA Finalist. With 100 plus books and novellas published and millions of books in print, she enjoys adventures with her retired husband and loves reading, baking, shopping, especially shoe shopping. Everybody welcome Lenora Worth.
So glad to have you, girlfriend.
Thank you.
So Lenora, I have a very important question, but how do you spell mama? M-A-M-A or M-O-M-M-A?
I spell it M-A-M-A, but I say mama.
Well, it's the same thing. Yes. Yay. One for Eva.
Southern girl.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm keeping score. I'm going to write this down while Jane's going to ask the next question, but I'm going to be writing down the score.
I am so impressed with your resume. I felt like when I judged the Mrs. South Carolina pageant, Thomas said I got to be about this big in my chair because I'm looking at all these great accomplishments. So I love everything. So tell me a short story about your mama or your grandmama.
Oh, my mama. She was very sweet and kind of shy, but when she got mad, everybody knew it. But I had 6 brothers and sisters, 3 of each, and they were all older than me, and I was the baby. So I got a little spoiled, as my siblings used to tell me, well, you're just spoiled. I mean, you got things we never had. And I said, that's not my fault. I'm sorry. But anyway, she tried to learn to drive once, and she almost ran over a man walking on the road, and she never, ever tried to drive a car again. We all drove her around. Whoever had a car drove her, mostly my daddy. And she got so mad at him one time, because you know how men are. If they run into each other at the store, they stand there and lean on their trucks and talk. Well, he was talking, and she found an old apple in the truck and started eating it because she was starving. And she's like, men, they claim women talk all the time, but they talk more than we do. And that's true, because I've watched it right here. And so she was just very quiet. She cooked big, huge Sunday dinners, just wonderful. And she'd always save me the pulley bone. if you know what that is, from the fried
Yes.
chicken. And because my brothers would grab this and that, and my nieces and nephews would always get the biggest piece of chicken and they'd eat half of it. So she would slip that to me. But when I finally found out where the pulley bone was located on the chicken, I was like, ugh. But then it became a wishbone.
The wishbone. That's
Yes.
right. You made a wish.
But she was a sweet person, and she could sew. She sewed all my clothes in high school. So I had what I call designer clothes. And all the rich, fancy girls would say, "Where'd you get that?" And I say, "My mama made it."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So she was just a really sweet person.
How then did your mother or your grandmother or maybe another special lady in your life shape you as a writer?
My grandmother was very stoic. Most of my grandparents had passed away by the time I was born, and she lived till I was probably about 14 or 15. But we called her Mama Umphris. That was my maiden name, Umphris. We didn't use the H.
Right.
And she was Mama Umphris. That's what she answered to. And she was very stern. She'd always give me like a coloring book and something to keep me occupied, because she didn't really want to talk to me. She was that kind of grandma. But she lived in this wonderful house. My grandfather, he delivered milk with a buggy, a horse and buggy. And I saw pictures of that. And when I saw the house, it was kind of run down and old, but it was one of those houses that was rectangular and had a big front porch, and it had a breezeway to the kitchen, which was not connected to the house. It was the breezeway got you to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But she had turned that into another bedroom, and most of my brothers stayed there a lot when they got kicked out of our house. So she spoiled all of her grandchildren, and she had a lot of grandchildren. But I guess the one really person, I was thinking about it earlier, that influenced me the most was my daddy had an aunt and Uncle Russell and Aunt Elaine, and they lived in Panama City. And we would go and visit them every now and then. And I'd go sit on the front porch and think about, the beach is like 5 miles away. I want to go to the beach. And she would bring me, when I got older, she was a nurse, and she gave me a lot of nurse romances. And I started reading those. That's my dog barking in the background. He was very quiet until we became alive. But anyway, she would give me these nurse books, and she would mark them, with like stars. This is good. Okay, whatever. And she told me, you take care of them and you bring them back to me. So I did. And that's where I got my love of writing romance from her. Yes.
Yeah. I remember those nursing books. I remember, the nurses were the main characters.
Oh, yeah. And the doctors, and the covers were like,
Yes. Oh, yes. I remember that. I had forgotten about them, but I remember it now.
So, Lenora, how about a favorite Southern expression?
Oh, my mother used to tell me when I'd be upset, she'd say, well, what goes around comes around. And it'll come back to bite them. And she would tell me that. And then she would tell me, you're tender-hearted, and you have so many emotions in you. And I thought, well, yeah, that's, when I became a writer, I thought, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And so she would just tell me, take the high road. And I still tell people that.
Exactly. Yeah, just hold on and see how it all works out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Lenora, tell us a little bit about your latest project or what you're working on right now.
Well, I'm really excited because in traditional publishing, I've written over 100 books and novellas, and I've done a few indie novellas, but now I've done my first indie book. It's called The Sweetheart Deal, and it's set in Florida. It's set on Sweetheart Bay, which I totally made up, but it's near Destin. And I had so much fun with it. It's about, it's kind of loosely based on my husband and I. We met when we were like 5 years old, because my sister had a cottage in his backyard, his grandmother's backyard. And he would knock on the door and say, can Lenora come out and play? And I did. And then he went away because his father was in the military, and he came back in grammar school, and we flirted and I thought, I really like him. And then he came back in high school, and it was fall. I saw him walking across the campus. The leaves were falling. And I told my friend, I said, that's the man I'm going to marry. So
it's like a Hallmark movie.
Back in their hometown.
I love that. How about advice? How about some advice for writers, Lenora? What would you have?
One, don't try to have a podcast when your dog is barking. And two, be yourself, find your voice. I've stuck with my Southern voice, even though I've had to work with people in New York, and sometimes they don't understand what like a Hemi is in a truck, and you have to, but stick with your voice, stay in your lane, unless you really want to break out and go rogue and challenge yourself like I'm doing with this book. Mainly just use your voice, let your voice shine through. Don't try to follow the markets. And I've had people say to me, I want to be the next Karen Kingsbury, or I want to be the next Nora Roberts. And I said, that's great, but why don't you try being the first you?
Right.
There's nothing like
great.
You and your voice. So that would be my advice. Just be you and write to the best of your abilities. And I want to go back and rewrite every one of my books, because I always think, they stink. And but I've done the best I could do and had a really good career. And so you just do the best you can do, as my mama would say.
You do. That's it. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. As soon as you start looking at somebody else, you have to understand that there's somebody else looking at you. You're thinking, why can't I be, like if it were you, well, why can't I be the next Karen Kingsbury or whatever, or whomever? And somebody else is saying, why can't I be the next Lenora Worth? I mean, God places us exactly where he wants us, when he wants us, how
does. He does.
Stay in that lane and stay out of everybody else's lane.
And, I tell people there's envy and there's jealousy. Envy is when you're happy for your friend, but you're sad for you, but you're not bitter. But jealousy is when you're mad and bitter, and we don't need that.
And we've seen that in the industry.
We have seen that.
Not among any of us Southern girls.
No, never. This our hearts. We wouldn't do that.
No, not Southern girls. No. Well, Lenora, thank you so much for joining us. And hey, everybody, we're going to have all the contact information for Lenora. You can find her at Amazon or your favorite bookstore, brick and mortar, or any of those online stores that you'd like to go to. And we just, follow her along in her website, etc. We thank you so much, Lenora, for being with us today.
It's been a lot of fun. It's nice to meet you, Jane. And I've known Eva since the cows came home.
Right.
I appreciate you having me, and I've enjoyed it. And I apologize for my dog. He's tiny.
Oh, well, dogs are dogs. They bark.
Dogs are dogs.
All right, everybody. Until next time, we'll see you later.